and 3-pieces. But there you get a good look at the deck list.
How are we going to know what his even Warlock, Combo, Shadowwalk Shaman, Death Rattle Hunter, and Token Druid have in them?
You know, that's a great question, TJ, but I tell you what we can know is what is in Tyler's Token Druid even. As a result, they are simply choosing to ignore it. A big part of the lineups that are being built here this weekend.
Yep. And these are 2 out of the 4 players that remain currently in an undefeated 4-0 record. Tyler, of course, coming from the Europe scene, now over to the Asia-Pacific scene after moving to Vietnam. 2 players in the field of Asia-Pacific players that made the move. Nixley is the other one, a German player that made the move to Korea earlier this year. Alpe actually competed at in the 2016 APAC Summer Championship. So he's been at a championship before, but he's actually qualified for the fall playoffs as a challenger through the challenger circuit.
I think it's super cool.
It is super cool.
Only 8 people do that.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Also got number 7 on ladder in May of this year.
Yeah, so even though he qualified for the challenger circuit, which in order to qualify for the challenger circuit, you have to have not qualified for a playoffs in the past 3 seasons. And that's a rolling total. So he has been out of it for a while, but he's still been, you know, floating around there, getting some finishes, and he does have that performance in 2016 on his resume. So a tough opponent for Tyler, as one of these players is looking for a 5-0 start, and a 5-0 start in Swiss is usually a golden ticket into the top 8.
Yeah, you're not. I wouldn't call it a 100% lock, but you're pretty much locked.
No, it's a golden ticket. I mean, that should say it all. You know, a golden ticket doesn't guarantee that you get to go to the chocolate factory.
Yeah, I mean, you could just, you know,
some of them turn into blueberries.
You remember that guy that tried to buy the secret recipe from Charlie? What if he just took the golden ticket from him and ran away? Like they're just hiding out in a dark alley. The golden ticket's not a guarantee. That's my point that I'm saying. It's about as close as you get.
Yeah, sometimes you have a golden ticket and then you fall into the burning lava chocolate river and have 3rd-degree burns all over your body of deliciousness.
I still can't believe how many kids they're just gone from that stupid chocolate factory.
It's a real travesty, to be honest.
Hunter mirror match we got going on as we roll into turn 4. Not much significance has taken place in the early stages of this, but to give you an idea of the 2 deck lists here, we're looking at the traditional Death Rattle Hunter for Alpe, and Tyler's got more of that Subject 9 curve out, you know, hybridized aggression thing going on. Does have a copy of Mossy Harbor, but that's the top end right there. This deck needs to get on the ground, get the advantage, and then win from there. But right now, he's staring down a Houndmaster Shaw, and that is one of those minions that you just look at and you feel like you have to kill this thing, lest the disastrous effects come into play from leaving it there.
But it is brutal.
Yeah, this
spend that many resources to kill it.
The big one for Tyler is that it actually just yields initiative over to Alpe here. The fact that he's losing that particular curve in such a dreadful fashion with the Gluttonous Ooze, that's really what can spell the downhill spiral for Tyler in this situation. This deck needs to really keep the board and deliver damage turn after turn. There's not a lot of swing turns available, and I'd say in this match in particular, the swing turns, you know, come even fewer and farther between. Almost said it the exact same way I said it earlier, which was completely backwards.
You should just take that phrase out of your repertoire.
I'm getting rid of it.
Find a new one.
I'm going to do it to it what you did to this deck list that you fetched me earlier.
I'll try and come up with a new one that means the same thing.
Well, that's the problem, is I came up with a new one. Far and few between.
Scarce. There you go.
I can get behind scarce.
Is there a phrase with scarce? Scarce as a...
You remember what happened last time we tried to use idioms?
Scarce as a mana worm in Admirable's opening hand.
It's pretty scarce. Now, if I was my opponent, that would not be the case. It would be quite, you know, very there.
Far and few between.
hate and love you at the same time.
Well, good thing Alpe played this Witchwood Grizzly as opposed to the Giggling Inventor, because he would have been in for a real treat.
I don't know if I'd call losing my entire board to my opponent's card while they get a 2/7 body a treat.
Yeah.
But to each their own. To own their each. Pretty much the only reasonable progress that Tyler makes this turn is with the Houndmaster. Snake Trap sets up pretty nice little turn here.
Yeah,
but
doesn't attack.
Yeah, I think attacking would be, you know, kind of a weird step to take. And Alpe not going to go for the Deathstalker Rexar here. Wants a little bit more in play before he lands it, and that might come back to, you know, cost a pretty penny in this situation.
Cost a penny pretty, as some may say.
Jeez. Tyler's now going to take that opportunity to start pushing.
Yeah.
But this is right into Katharina. Tyler been having a pretty fantastic year himself as he made the move over to Asia Pacific. 46 points.
He still would have qualified for Europe.
Yeah, and took 5th place in the team standings in the first finishing of it, alongside Casey and Crane with Team Complexity. Had a top 32 at Tours, and has also played the last 4 playoffs prior to this one in a row. All the 2017 playoffs and the summer playoffs this year.
Yeah, he got the nickname Tyler the Grinder because he just plays so much ladder. There was a point where he was ranked 1 on multiple servers at the same time.
All 3 servers at the same time.
Oh, was it all 3 servers?
Yeah.
I thought he had like dropped on 1 to 2 or something like that. But
I remember, for whatever reason, and I could be recalling this incorrectly, but I remember watching the stream where he had all 3 of them up at the same time.
Yeah, he even plays on multiple servers at the same time. So it was actually a pretty easy switch to Asia Pacific since he was already finishing in top 5 Legend quite often on those servers.
Also as the anchor of the 2018 Hearthstone Global Games team. And made top 8 last year with Theo, Tyson, Mitsuhide.
Yeah.
Long story short, it's been pretty busy. Looks like Deathstalker Rexar is going to be a little busy this turn as well. This is just such a good setup for Alpe. It just really does not get much stronger than this.
No, it does not.
You can see Tyler's face.
A little bit of frustration, a little bit.
Disappointment, frustration. It's somewhere in the lines of, I really wish this didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because now as he looks up at Alpe's 38 life total, thanks to the Gluttonous Ooze and Deathstalker Rexar, you look at the rest of your deck and you go, I just don't think I have the cards to get there this game.
He's got his own Deathstalker Rexar, but Alpe just has such a big lead, not only on board, but also will have a big lead in Zombies creation at that point.
It's pretty much do or die for the Deathstalker Rexar next turn. If Tyler does not draw that, he's just going to be overwhelmed. I will say that's one of the things I like a lot about hero cards is that they opened you up to be able to fight card advantage battles. Just being able to out-resource your opponent entirely.
Ooh.
Big yikes. By the way, gets a Katharina Death Rattle a second time.
By the way, still has the Gluttonous Ooze that was frozen, trapped early on in the game.
By the way, Tyler gets a 1/1 off the Wandering Monster. Hey, it's summoned a 2/3.
Yeah, I have to commend Tyler's effort there to try and stick something on the board, maybe hoping that Alpe's hand was full with Beast and he wasn't going to get anything from Katharina, but it is kind of, I wouldn't say risky, but a calculated play to go with the secrets there, because if he dropped Spellstone the next turn, he could have activated them, but there is nothing going for him in that one as Tyler scoops it up. Alpe around the Asia Pacific region. You're getting a glimpse here. Strike Right, Treads Red at 3-1, Aqua and Dochi at 3-1, and then Hanaya and Surrender both at 2-2. So lots of battles going on. Once we have already dropped from the tournament after starting with those like 1-3 starts or 0-3 or 0-4, what have you. So starting to already slim down the field, but these two players look like they're not going to be stopped. Both 4-0, and one of them is going to move on from this match at 5-0.
That's right. Picture a big Hearthstone map where all the players have to show up to venues and do battle. Different taverns, if you will.
Yeah. Asia Pacific is currently Hearthstone land. Last week it was Europe, and next week it'll be the Americas. Let's get into it. Even more. Yeah.
What was that?
I was thinking for a second maybe it wasn't, but
it's like his brain just died. Even what?
Turned our curse
Up TJ.
into our strength.
Gen Greymane, even Warlock. This isn't even the deck list you ripped in half.
even more.
This is to me like one of the more interesting Shutterwalk matchups that takes place. Namely because of the amount of pressure that Tyler's actually able to deliver. You know, a lot of people look at even Warlock decks and they view it as a style of control deck. And that sometimes is true, but that's true of basically every single deck that exists. At some point, you have to play a little bit of defense before you can get the ball rolling.
Even Warlock's an aggro deck.
Oh, in this matchup, it very much is an aggro deck as well. In its purest sense, where basically every single time I've played this deck, I have completely ignored my opponent's ability to really do anything and just tried to hit them in the face as quickly as possible. And this turn 2 Acidic Swamp Ooze instead of the life tap is very indicative of that.
You can see Alpe's Road 2, who he's defeated up until this point. Round 1, he defeated Chad, which is Admirable's one to watch, but also defeated Hearthstone's one and only gold medalist Kin in round number 3.
As well as Frosty in round number 2.
Yeah.
Just beating up snowmen.
And Tyler's defeated Shrek Right, Aqua, Physics King, and Kaosai. A lot of close matchups for him, especially in the last couple rounds.
It's getting tougher.
It is getting tougher.
I will say the one thing that looks kind of weird from this line that Tyler's taken is the fact that Mountain Giant couldn't come down. But the thing about Mountain Giant in this matchup is it's not so much about the early Mountain Giant as it is about a protected Mountain Giant. One of the last things you want to happen in this matchup is to have Volcano land on your Mountain Giant super cleanly. That is a disaster as far as Tyler is concerned. So what he's trying to do is invest into the board presence to get enough health down that Mountain Giant is outside of the range of Volcano where it's most likely to live through that. And just completely ignore everything I said. Apparently he's going to play Mountain Giant right here. This is just, now I'm just confused and this is weird. I thought this was going brilliantly right up until this point.
If he had played Twilight Drake, it actually would have been enough health to be out of range of Volcano.
Yeah, and this is...
He could have maybe tried to bait out some overload spells and then drop Mountain Giant maybe the turn after in order to have it be more protected.
You know, pretty much the thing that I have successfully done versus Shutterwalk Shaman a number of times, and that I learned from practicing with Monsanto, who was talking to me about delaying the pressure actually creates more because of the timing of it. And I wasn't doing that prior to that, and I was having, you know, quite a losing record, I'd say, in this matchup. And then once I started doing that, I was like, wow, this is pretty darn strong.
Yeah.
You know, there's also a chance that Tyler, just because his hand contains a number of threats, is just okay with getting Volcanoed and then sticking something bigger afterwards. Like now he's rolling into a Hooked Reaver plus turn.
Yeah, Twilight Drake Hooked Reaver, that's 17 health on the board most likely if he just plays it from Hankazov or all the 10 cards.
Pretty darn big turn. And Alpe's just going to coin out the Hagatha here, and this is often the way that Alpe really tries to win the game. You know, you think about the Shutterwalk combo and you're thinking about nailing these gigantic turns, but in this position, it's really about shutting down the assault from Tyler. If he doesn't do that effectively, it's not going to work. Yeah. And Tyler taking heed of Urshock in this spot, 2 copies of it in Alpe's deck.
Yeah, so maybe that's a nod for why he opted for the Mountain Giant over Twilight Drake, just saying, I hope you don't have Volcano, because if you don't have it, you're probably dead. Yeah. Because I'm hitting you for a bunch.
You know, Hex is a big one too, but Hex is going to be present on any threat that happens.
Nails a Volcano. Nails a second Volcano for Hagatha.
What in the world? That is That is extremely rare to see back-to-back of the same card happening.
Yeah, especially back-to-back of a pretty good card.
Yeah, such an important one.
I mean, I've seen a ton of back-to-back totemic mites.
Oh, that's right. You were watching me earlier today. More bad luck jokes.
I'm admirable. I'm unlucky.
I don't remember saying that.
Get yourself together, man.
Tyler's. This is bad news.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have a damage push to make.
And if he defiles, he clears his entire board except for a 1 health Hooked Reaver.
I feel like Tyler is about to just get pushed out of the game. And while he's going to hunt for the best way to really take care of this, Alpe's sitting back with an extra copy of Electra in hand and just ready to just destroy everything Tyler plays for basically the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Austin Harbor does a pretty decent job of getting extra stuff on board in case of like a volcano or lightning storm. Pushing as much as he can, but I feel like this one might not be in the cards. Alpe can cut it down to 21 health total on board. Beaker Lightning would make that 16.
Well, he can actually Earthshock the Hooked Reaver to take 4 health off.
Yeah. Well, oftentimes you want to save Earthshock for Twilight Drake because that's like the final minion that is kind of tough to answer in this deck. But Alpe's in such a comfortable position with the double Volcano pickup off of Hagatha that I think he's more free to be somewhat wasteful with his resources.
That's kind of interesting. Okay, he wanted the guarantee. So he wasted 1 damage of his attack into the Greymane, but he didn't have a full clear with Volcano.
Yeah.
So he wanted to make sure that the highest damage target was killed guaranteed.
Yeah, didn't want to have to use the Beacon Lightning.
Yeah, exactly.
Rough shape for Tyler.
In a beaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blood River Gul'dan will give him some game, but the thing is just Alpe's at 24. Okay, sorry, 22.
I mean, I agree Gul'dan's the play here, and I think it does give him some significant game. But Alpe's halfway through his deck. He hasn't really suffered much damage. He's got Electra here to back up this board even more, and now finds a Bloodlust. So Alpe can even potentially start getting aggressive.
Well, the thing is, he's still missing combo pieces. So Tyler can just keep chipping away and playing a minion, a threat every turn to try and challenge what Alpe's doing. Alpe still needs to find Shadowwalk, he still needs to find Grow, he still needs to find time to play the Serenite Chain Gangs, which are risky because you can just Hellfire passive as the Warlock. So Tyler, I don't think Alpe's out of this one yet. He still needs a couple of key draws before he can guarantee himself a path to victory.
Well, there's another one.
Oh, okay.
This is a very active Volcano in game 2 here. And Tyler does still have quite a bit of gas going, though. You see he's teching a copy of Bone Mare into the deck as well, just to have that extra oomph to make a push here. So I don't think Alpe actually needs to go like full combo this game in order to win. I think he just needs to get to 1 turn where Tyler misses a beat. As soon as that turn happens, I think that's where Alpe's going to take over the game. Big yikes.
Yeah.
Well,
that's pretty good.
Thinking of one particular Lich King card that's extremely good here. Well, Death Grip could be good, but I was thinking Army of the Dead.
I don't think he just has many minions left in his deck, and it gets him closer to fatigue. I don't know about that one.
There's a Mountain Giant.
There's a Mountain Giant.
There's another Hooked Reaver. That sounds like enough to me. Like, getting 12 attack.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, he's not going to win a fatigue. I mean, let's just wipe that out of his mind. Like, I mean, maybe he wins in fatigue.
No,
it's like almost impossible.
I do honestly think that Death Grip probably would have been better, but that is a lot of power.
That looks great to me. Now, I'm looking at Alpe's side and seeing another Volcano. The 4th one of the game. And so I think that's pretty much already count the Volcano up too. I think that's pretty much going to, stifle all assault from Tyler at this point. But
yeah.
This honestly turned out to be a pretty solid push from Tyler. Just, you know, continue to get stuff turn after turn.
Yeah.
Volcano with an attack on the mind control tech is a clear here.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of how I feel. But I'm not invested into Tyler winning the match here.
No.
So imagine how you feel if you're invested into winning the match and that happens. Tough stuff. Still Oh, right, when you're at 30, the Hooked Reaver's not a 7-7. In my head, I was just like, why didn't he play the 7-7 last turn? Well, that would be why. Stupid. I'm stupid.
Tidal Surge also. Man, Agatha just coming up big for Alpe.
So from Tyler's perspective, this still isn't the worst. He can still land the Bone Mare here, but, you know, Alpe's so far through the deck as well, and that's going to spell Hex or Earthshock quite often. You know, plus you factor in all the Hagatha cards that have been generated.
Yeah.
So many bloody decisions.
It's times like these I wish players had golden Hagatha and no other golden cards so I could tell which cards were the Hagatha cards.
Alpe has the opposite.
Yeah.
But not all of his cards are golden, only his Hex.
Wow. Wow. I mean, he resigned to his fate at this point. I mean,
He's got 5 cards left. Come on.
exactly. You know, that's the final push. If it doesn't work, that's it.
All right, can we get there?
Hang on, let me count it up. Doing a number crunch real quick. Nope.
Well,
He needs to connect with this Geist about 7 times.
Skulking Geist would have been good. Probably any card but the very last one. Even from the Army of the Dead. Sure, just give me an extra 6 health and 4 power on the
Yep.
board. And Alpe knows that there is no threat slot, so he's free to just pretty much do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I mean that's the final nail in the coffee right there.
And you can see 2-0 lead for Alpe.
Tyler, he's looking not so hot right now after this down 0-2 circumstance. Boots in place. But besides that, Tyler's got Odd Rogue, which I think is one of the worst matchups for Even Warlock. And he's got Secret Hunter, which is also a pretty bad matchup for Even Warlock. So Tyler, I think, is still in this one here, even though right now it looks quite grim.
Yeah, Secret Hunter quite poor because of the ability to deal damage from hand and the ability to have a very fast start. Odd Rogue, because of Vile Spine Slayer, honestly, like, if that card comes down on any of your big threats,
You know, and pure raw
We
damage.
have turned
pure
our curse
raw
into our
adulterated
strength.
damage.
I will say that Alpe has found 2 of the most important cards in the matchup, though. He's found both Spellstone and Mountain Giant. You know, a lot of times against Odd Rogue, my initial instinct with Even Warlock was to clear their board with Hellfire and then get a threat online. And in my opinion, after playing this matchup enough, it is quite the opposite. Your goal is to get a Mountain Giant in play and hit them with it over and over again and hope that you have anything to hang on by just a thread. And that often means a Spellstone just to gain a little bit of life and offset their damage, or a Hellfire post Mountain Giant and hope that it can continue to deliver damage. If you try to go for just a pure defensive game plan, it oftentimes just fails.
Yeah, they're just going to dagger you in the face, you're going to play Hooked Reaver, and then they're going to kill it with Vile Spine Slayer.
Yeah, like in this spot, Tyler, you know, has a wealth of options, but they all come at some sort of cost. If he takes this route, his Fledgling is going to be open to some sort of removal from Alpe. If he takes the aggressive stance with Vicious Fledgling here, it means that his Vile Spine Slayers come much, much slower.
Yeah.
And so Tyler,
At least 2 turns slower. That's if he picks up a 1-drop.
yeah, and so Tyler's, I think, very smartly recognizing that he doesn't need to just make an immediate push. He just simply needs to get a push and then back it up.
And if you get a Hellfire out onto a 3/3 and a 1/3, you're not that upset about that because they do just get to develop into nothing now. Tyler doesn't really have too much to develop with.
I think Tyler's quite happy if he sees Hellfire here because it means he's not seeing Mountain Jump. And Alpe going to immediately Hellfire here. It does buff up 2 Spellstones, so I think that's part of the immediacy of the play. Tyler's free to, throw caution to the wind with the health total from Alpe, knowing he's got 2 Vile Spines in hand.
Shields up.
Giant number 1 promptly dealt with. just pointed the Vile Spine at the face for a second. Another interesting play here for Tyler. Do you trade with this little 2/3? What does it enable? I decide not to.
I think you do. If you don't trade, a trade in the SI7 agent plus the file.
It's not a full clear.
It wouldn't be a full clear, but it would clear off 2 minions. This would be the most guaranteed.
Immediately played for Alpe. And that'll be second Vile Spine, and Tyler looking poised.
Still got the 2 buff Spellstones, but it's a wide board state with Uncle in hand. No other defensive plays.
That's dead.
Yeah. He's dead.
That's why the matchup's bad.
Yeah. Now, if they don't draw a Vile Spine Slayer,
it's a much more scrappy brawl that takes place. But Tyler still overall has an advantage where just pure raw damage is concerned.
all right, it took him a sec.
Well, now's not the time to quickly play through that. You want to triple check that and make sure you're good to go.
Yeah.
You win this time.
But I mean, he had Fungalmancer plus a dagger up, so
I'm counting.
yeah. And Tyler just found number 5. The players you see on your screen, Tyler and TNTAlpe, are currently 4-0 in the Swiss portion of this event. Can Alpe move to 5-0 or can Tyler move to 5-0? Find out on the next episode
Of Hearthstone.
of Hearthstone, which starts right now, actually. Waiting all day for this.
You've been casting like all day too.
We have turned our curse into our strength.
Oh. No secrets to back it up, but
Yeah.
I'll never tell.
If only Secret Keeper was a beast.
here's the thing. Tyler just needs pressure. It honestly doesn't even really matter what the pressure looks like as long as it's pressure, and he needs Alpe to not stop that pressure. Now, when you draw a second Eagle Horn Bow, you draw your 1 Tecton copy of Mobsy Harbor.
Job's done.
You don't have a beast to buff with Crackling Razor Maw,
And no secrets to buff your Secret Keeper.
and your opponent's played a Vulgar Homunculus. Starts to look a little bit worse, but, pressure's pressure.
Board tension.
That's not how you use that word. Or term, rather. You've just stripped away all meaning.
Hand texture.
Tyler's hand texture is quite poor right now. It is all responsive stuff. He is not the one responding in this game.
Huge draws.
Not one of them. I feel like, that guy that does the envelopes? He puts them to his forehead and he says what the answer is, and then he opens it up and reads a ridiculous question.
Yeah.
That's what that just felt like. That one's not bad.
Deathstalker Rexar could give him an alternate game plan.
Well, Alpe's got an alternate game plan too. It's called Kill Him Real Fast. Whew, this is a dead turn right here. I don't think Tyler's going to be on the Rexar game plan.
Well,
It's kind of working right now, honestly.
he's got a cheap beast. So Dire Maul now, kill command is active with the hero power. So his max damage is 10, but this Sunfury Protector is actually going to be a big deal. Let's see. Raid Leader, not the best.
Shields up.
Yeah, that's a big yikes turn there.
Oh Monster actually fights this board.
I'm trying to figure out how Tyler gets out of this, though. I mean, he's taking so much damage if he attacks this bow here. You know, I think Alpe has an opportunity to just get really aggressive.
He's got double Hellfire.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he's going to do. This is absolutely the right call here from Alpe. You got to throw caution to the wind sometimes and just start going. You're like, you know what? This is not going to work. If I try to play this defensive game plan, I'm going to get stuffed. That's what opens Tyler to perhaps a transition into a different game plan. Alpe's getting quite low.
Still a turn away from the big taunt in the Lich King. Mountain Giant's still a big boy.
Whoa.
Well, there's no Hunter Hero Power anymore. That trade is very respectful.
That is quite respectful.
Of, I don't even know.
Well, damage, but...
Yeah, but he's got no Hero Power anymore. His max damage on the board would have been...
It's got to be because of Lich King,
5.
right?
I guess so. Lich King will solidify the game when it comes down pretty much 99.9% of the time. Was he able to check for the secret? That's
an interesting point. Well, the
no,
secret wasn't down. It
up.
was just
No.
played.
Yeah, so there was no secret up. So that's a lot of damage to just give up. But
I'm trying to think of like the disaster points that hit from Build-A-Beast.
yeah, maybe Tyler pushes a few points of damage and then clears the board or something, or presents a taunt with Build-A-Beast.
Well, there goes the tiny beast for kill command, and I think Tyler's, you know, considering damage here. You know, honestly, I didn't even see what the secret was.
Explosive trap.
So he is protected from a Hellfire.
Yeah.
He's actually protected from 2 Hellfires in this spot.
Maybe it's not explosive trap.
What was it? I mean, I was just not watching it, to be perfectly frank.
I was right.
Why did he attempt? Oh, you know what? Hellfire opens up drawing kill command, and I think, did he need kill command anyway?
Oh, tracking!
Tyler's like losing it. He can't find it. But Wandering Monster protects him for a turn. Still got Build-A-Beast. Cheap Beast. Check 1. Take the Angry Chicken to maximize charge. No, it doesn't, because you don't get Stone Tusk Spore then. Because I was thinking Tundra Rhino on the 1 cost would maximize the number of charges you get, but Tundra Rhinos you get on the first cycle, not the second cycle.
Yeah.
It's coming down to the wire.
I think it's Lich King every time here, right?
Well, Alpe, I think, he's trying to figure out if there's a way he can life tap profitably. And I'm looking at the deck list, and I'm not really seeing much. You know,
Yeah, Spellstone does nothing in that situation because you're trading to the beast every time. Lich King gives you the chance for a death coil out for lethal.
look at Tyler. He knows it's coming down. Not
Bear
it.
Shark!
He's still not dead on the following turn's attack, though.
Yeah.
And there's Arphis, which can provide a Lich King card that perhaps kills Alpe in this
Tyler
spot.
just thinks he's dead to Death Coil right now, but Alpe doesn't have the damage yet. He's protected because that's a Wandering Monster. Gets a taunt too, so has another layer of protection.
If Lich King is betrayed by his own pup. Blood Reaver Gul'dan for Alpe.
Tyler just, he's in agony right now.
Huge draw. Oh my. Yeah, you just don't find a better one than that.
Nope.
So Tyler needs
Death and Decay? That's the worst
No,
one
that's-
because he has no health to work with. He's dead no matter what because Hero Power plus Hellfire. He can't even get a miracle.
low bat lifesteal.
No, it wouldn't be enough.
That wouldn't be enough to protect him?
Well, he wouldn't be able to do anything with the bloat bat.
You just play it and attack. It's good, like the lifesteal rush one.
No. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It would have to be exactly vicious scale height,
That
right?
gains 3, 4, 5. That gains 7 health.
No.
And then you would have 2 for the freezing trap. The wandering monster protects something, but it freezing traps something. So you would take 6 on the backswing. I mean, regardless of which, that's not the one he got. So
Sent whose fate.
can't obliterate.
He's dead to just hero power plus hellfire.
Yep. Wow, that was a number of roller coaster turns that took place there.
Yeah.
Over halfway through the deck, Tyler cannot find a kill command to wrap it up. And Alpe going to take it 3-1, moves on to 5-0 match score.
What in Two Nation was that?
I'll tell you what, TJ, it's our second challenger in 2 playoffs that is